Okay. All right, for our user spotlight, I want to introduce Hannah Keeling and Robin Sakonyi from Thiel College. Thank you so much, ladies, for being with us today.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. So I am the director of the Learning Commons here at Thiel College. So I oversee all of the programming that comes out of the Learning Commons. What do you do?
I'm Hannah Keeling. I am the coordinator of peer-led learning. So I oversee all of our programs that are led by peers. So that would include tutors, SI Pass leaders, and our writing lab staff.
Okay. So just a little intro to Thiel College. We're a very small liberal arts college in northwestern Pennsylvania. We have about 900 students, and 100 of those are graduate students. Our center focuses primarily on the undergraduate student population. So the Learning Commons is our name. That's the name of our learning center. And we use Accudemia for all of the services that we offer, including the Accessibility Resource Center, which is a sister office, but falls under the umbrella of the Learning Commons. So we use Accudemia to schedule testing and to schedule, we call it ARC meetings. Other services include academic coaching, done by full-time professional staff. I am one of them. Peer-led learning done by our student staff of about 30. We call them peer learning leaders. So they offer peer tutoring, SI Pass, study groups, writing lab, math lab, and English conversation coaching for our international students. We also just added a new service this semester, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Awesome. So we first started using Accudemia in our spring 2023 semester. We had come from tutor track, and we made use of Accudemia's free trial, which was super nice. So we used it for a couple of months before we decided to go to Accudemia. And we ultimately decided on Accudemia because we liked the interface, we liked how easy it was to use, it seemed really intuitive. And our student staff really liked it, and they're the ones that are, using it primarily. So that was really a plus. So then there was this other little piece to this puzzle, and that was that we had an administrative assistant prior to now, and she actually left us the same semester that we got Accudemia. So Accudemia actually ended up doing a lot of the things that she used to do for us. So she would do all of our appointment scheduling and the handling of all of our tutor schedules. Like that was her role. And when she left and we were told she wasn't going to get replaced, Accudemia was really helpful. We were a little bit nervous to let go of that control, I guess, that we had on our staff schedules and on scheduling students. But ultimately we decided if Accudemia can do this, we're going to let Accudemia do this. We're going to let our students, schedule themselves. We're going to let our teachers put their own schedules in the system. And we really couldn't be happier with the results. It's just been really good. Yeah, go ahead. So we have some other slides here. There, we should have said this a minute ago when Robin was talking about our center, but go ahead, you want to show them our space?
Yes, so our space has undergone significant changes in the past 4 years. We are in the back corner of the library. And prior to 2020 and really during 2020 and 2021, we very much looked like a library space. And I mean like tutoring tables in between stacks and stacks. So the space was very closed off, not an open space, which is what my vision was coming in as a new director in 2020. So over time, the space has evolved, as you can see, to be open. We are supposed to be renovated with more modern furniture in the next couple of years, but
Hopefully.
we've made do
Cross our fingers.
made do with the 1970s style library
And
tables and
actually,
chairs.
we've had a new paint job and stuff. So actually, these pictures aren't even as good as what we are.
That's true.
Always improving.
Yeah, we've just tried to do what we can under a budget. So the picture for Meet Our Staff, this was kind of Hannah's brainchild to do a mural that involved like anyone from campus who visited our open house last spring. So she kind of taped off the design, and we had a wonderful reception at our open house. And we've got great videos and pictures of students, faculty, and staff painting their own little piece of the mural. And then we took the tape off, and just brings a really good energy to the space. We also want everyone to know who our staff members are. So pictures and little bios of we call them PLLs, and then of course our professional staff. So that's really like on display as you're coming into the center. Hannah and I are both artistic and creative, and so we want, again, our space to be reflective of this is like a learning, creative environment. It's alive. It's not, stuck in a book and on a shelf. So we also had some students help us. You can't really see it, but there's a light bulb mural. Yeah. That some of our students from the art club helped us to bring to fruition. So, and then our writing lab, we now have a bunch of plants in there. That's down here in the corner. And some other signage. This is a different angle of the Learning Center. And actually, these two whiteboards, it's whiteboard paint. We replaced those with a big, like, actual whiteboard. So that looks better. And then this is just our little reception kind of seating area. So the space has come a long way. And you can see we have kiosks set up in various places for people to sign in for their appointments.
Yep. Also, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Like this poster right here has our QR code on, and that's one of the ways that students can make an appointment. Same here. These are our writing lab consultants, because this is the writing lab. So they each have a little profile with their QR codes on. So that's some ways that we tie Accudemia into our space. This is just some of our staff and students at work here. Typical tutoring sort of day here. Oh. Okay, so this is our Accudemia page. We haven't done a lot of work with this, but there it is. So I guess let's talk a little bit about how we use Accudemia. And I don't know that what we do is any more special than what anybody else does, but we basically use it for everything. So we use it for our appointments, and we use it for our walk-in services, and those are divided pretty evenly, half and half, I would say. Appointments, we use our all center link. So we go into Accudemia to our center, and we copy and paste the link that is in there, and then we share it via email out to campus in campus newsletters, or we make it into QR code like you see here. In marketing, they want us to use Tommy the Tomcat in our QR code so that everything is marketed, branded. So that's what we do with our link. We put, like, this is an example of a slide that we might send to an instructor to include in like their PowerPoint. We also put this on posters, which are hanging all over campus. We put these on stickers, so like we'll print labels, and then we hand those out when we visit classes so that students always have this available to them. And then we also do this with the staff members' individual links. So some of you may know when you go into Accudemia, you can generate a link for any staff member, and that'll go directly to their availability. So we use that a lot. Our staff members know that they are to send their link, share their QR code. They also have stickers. We make posters at the beginning of the semester, and that's just one way that we get the link out there so that students can schedule. And of course, we have some that they're scheduled by their academic coach, or their athletic coach comes in, or they physically come in and say, I'd like a tutor. So those are just some ways. What else?
We also put it on social media.
We do,
yeah.
Instagram.
On Instagram. Yep.
So when we started with Accudemia, we really had a lot of changes in our center because of Accudemia, which has been a really good thing. So we changed our policy about how often tutoring occurred. So previously, when we had a human doing all the scheduling, a student was basically put into a semester-long tutoring commitment. So every week, they would be expected to come to tutoring, whether they wanted that or not. Now, some of them really needed it, and like it worked out really well for them. However, we think it was probably a little off-putting for others. So now what we do, since they schedule themselves, we know, and some of them may know, that they have the option to make recurring appointments, but we encourage them to make one appointment. They meet with their tutor for the first time, and then together, the student and the tutor decide how often we're going to come back, like how often are we going to do this? And then the tutor will set up recurring appointments at that time. I think overall we saw a little dip in the number of appointments because of that. However, we saw a decrease in the number of no-shows, which has been great. That used to be a big problem for us. And then also we've got some of our higher level students that they don't need a tutor, every week. They maybe just want to come in and get a little refresher on this or that before they move on in their very difficult science or math course. We allow students to access all of our services in Accudemia except for ARC testing. That is done manually, and we just schedule it with our ARC coordinator, Erin Bain, as if she is the staff member, and we do that manually, and that works out nicely as well. We also use Accudemia for our walk-in services. So for our SI and past sessions, and for our math office hours when students can just drop in, and all we do there is we have kiosks set up, or the leaders can turn their laptops into a kiosk. They know how to do that, and they have the permissions to do that. And then students just sign in and out. Or leaders can just take paper attendance and put the session log in after the session. So.
Yes. So, so Hannah shared how we use Accudemia for appointment scheduling and schedule management. We also use the survey feature. So students are asked for immediate feedback after their initial session. It's a brief survey, right? Just a few questions.
Very brief.
And then again, so periodically, if they choose to continue working with that tutor, they will be asked to respond to some survey questions at visit 4. Is it? Yeah. And then they're also asked for semester long feedback for students who've been working with a tutor or staff member, they're asked for that feedback at the end of a semester. So those surveys pop up on the kiosk when they log out. Hannah has been very diligent about monitoring that because sometimes a student will leave that incomplete. And so we want to make sure we get their feedback. So we remind our tutors, hey, remind your student to complete the survey. The other thing that I think is a really nice feature is the session assessments.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So our PLLs, our tutors, our consultants, they're able to make notes about the session, any progress that was made, feedback, suggestions for further practice, that kind of thing. So Hannah's also very good about monitoring for that. We want to have a complete and accurate record of um, the sessions. So are those the things that the faculty get, the session
Yes,
assessment?
yes. And so actually I designed those. So and you as the Accudemia admin have the power to do that, of course. So I went in and I made very specific questions about the feedback that I wanted from our PLLs. And I've tweaked that. I think every semester I've changed it a little bit, and I think it's finally where we want it. But it's nice. And then I have a report set up so that every Monday at 6 a.m. it gives me all of these session assessments from the week before, and then I will pass those along to faculty who tend to really appreciate that. We're not really, our faculty isn't really super aware of Accudemia, so they themselves don't know to get into Accudemia, and they have no idea how to make their own reports. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something we could ever do in the future, or if our faculty is just not meant for that. But yeah, that's how we share. I'm always looking for maybe a more efficient way to do that. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I mean, Accudemia is always improving, so hopefully someday it'll, because like right now I'm doing that manually. So, but it's nice. It's a nice feature.
Yes, and so other reports that we rely on, the daily schedule. So all of the professional staff here have the ability to view and print, our daily schedule. So that we have a sense of what kind of day we're going to have. Today is fairly quiet for a Monday, but we've got 3 weeks of classes left. So I imagine the last couple of weeks we'll see.
Yes, yeah. And for whatever
traffic.
reason, our Thursday's our busy day. I don't know if that's a learning center thing or not, but that's one of the first things I do when I come in the morning is I go and I look at the schedule that usually our academic coach Nikki has it printed and
Right.
ready.
And then we track that as we see students arrive for their appointments. And then it also allows us to, like, say somebody didn't arrive for their appointment, and then we talk with the tutor and say what happened. They say, oh, we canceled. Then we can go in, and if the tutor hasn't already done so, change the session status, the attendance status. The other nice report that Hannah has generated is a no-show report.
Yes.
So for the previous week's sessions, it will tell us who no-showed. Now that is a way for us to double check, like, is this truly a no-show, or did this student forget to sign in and sign out? So we can kind of fact check and correct things if we need to. So that's a really helpful report. So obviously usage, we're tracking that weekly, monthly, mid-semester, and then of course for end of semester reports and annual reports, it's just beautiful to be able to click a few things and have a report generated with charts, visuals, along with the data. So we love the reports function. Anything else we want to say about reports?
I don't think professors who want, like, if they want attendance for their study groups, I have reports set up to go to them automatically each week. So that's nice too.
Yeah, and at least one of our professors gives extra credit for attending SI for his class. We'd mentioned that we added a service this semester.
Yay!
Yay! So our sensory studios. So this was a grant-funded project, over a year in the making. So we finally received a grant, and put these two spaces together within our learning commons. The relaxation room actually used to be my office. But so two different spaces, one meant for relaxation, the other for stimulation. So you can see, the different things that we offer in each space. The grand opening was October 22nd. So just going on 3 weeks now, and these rooms have been used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been marketed, communicated to all of campus. We have a QR code for each specific space placed on the glass outside of the space. So students, anyone can scan the QR code, book their half-hour appointment.
And they also get to the appointments from our
main
Tommy QR code.
Yeah.
And like the stickers that some of them have, they can just scan.
Yep.
They stick it on their notebooks and then they can make an appointment from anywhere, which is super nice. And there's never been a no-show for the sensory studio.
That's true.
Not yet, anyway.
No. So this was, I think, honestly, the opening of these spaces has been another uptick for Accudemia. Like, I feel like now Accudemia is becoming like a common Thiel word.
Yes.
The more we, add to what we offer, it's just more opportunities to market. So, our website needs a lot of work, but we're working with our marketing department on that, because we obviously want Accudemia to be front and center and accessible to everyone. So, anything else on that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's been exciting.
So, yeah, that was our last slide. Okay. Yeah. So just kind of a final word. Accudemia has really allowed us to open our grasp, and allow students and student staff to have a learning center experience that's more tailored to their individual needs. So it's been awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we wouldn't go back. We made the right decision.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. We really appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us for this.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Rachel.
Oh,
Really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no.
And I would say, so we've been using this for, a little over a year now, and it's just, to me, amazing the progress, that we've made. And I really do feel like this platform has allowed us to grow as a center.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome
we have
to
a
hear.
different identity now.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, no, thank you for participating. We can't do this without, without people like you to come on and talk about your experiences. So thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.